Don't bottle it!
Benzema on the far side, and Rodrigo's turned it in. He's on as a substitute, and he's put Madrid back in this, baby. City have got to regain their control and composure. Oh my goodness! Oh, I can't believe it. Neither can Real Madrid. City's 2-goal lead has gone in a minute. Can Edison stop him? No, he can't. And now City have to score to save themselves.
This is it. Don't bottle it now, guys.
Kane and Kulusevski interested. Kane, beautiful control. It's Harry Kane. It's opened up. It's Sessegnon. It's on. It's 1-0 Tottenham Hotspur. How about this from Spurs, who lead at Anfield? Full time then at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
This is it. Don't bottle it now, guys.
He's well aware of the magnitude of this penalty. It is Harry Kane against Arsenal. Son with the corner. Bentancur Kane! He's done it again! Kane on the turn, does brilliantly, and Kane, was he hauled down? Son scores!
Don't bottle it!
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 69 of FPL Bros, or 68 and I'll owe you one if you prefer. This is your boy Coach and I'm joined by Jamie. How you doing?
I'm doing alright, How about you?
Yeah, I'm okay, I'm alright.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so we've just had double game week 36, very interesting for various lots of reasons, and we will have double game week 37 coming up as well. That starts on Sunday, because obviously Saturday we've got the FA Cup final. So we'll just briefly let people know who we think are good captain choices for double game week 37.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
But before we get on to that, let's have a look at our scores for game week 36. So,
Okay.
You want to go first, or?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. I'll go first. I got 116. That's with a -4 though. Because I did a double transfer, and that was like the most. You know, when you do a double transfer, and the minute you do it, you think that was so stupid. That was exactly.
Wait,
what happened.
I don't know what's coming here.
Well, it wasn't so bad. Like, it wasn't dreadful. But like, let me double check and make sure that I did the transfer. All right, yeah. So I swapped Eriksen and Ramsey to get, who did I get? I brought in Odegaard and I brought in Drewsbury Hall, which I'm pretty sure I did that bit. Like, I think after I did it, immediately I did it. I don't know how it looks in hindsight, but immediately I did it. I thought that was so dumb. I should have just swapped one of them, because I could have comfortably afforded. It could have been a straight swap between Odegaard and someone else, because I was gonna swap. I swapped Ramsey out and gained like a couple like decimal point millions to Drewsbury Hall, and then when I finally swapped out Odegaard, it wasn't even worth it, because Eriksen and Odegaard, because I was going to swap Odegaard for Eriksen for someone more expensive, but I didn't even want to use it in the end, because the fixtures that had worked out, it meant that I swapped Drewsbury Hall for no reason. I could have just kept Ramsey. It was just one of those ones, like a bit galaxy brain, they call it, you know, when you think way too high, and it's like that was not even worth it a little bit. Anyways, I did it and that was done. But lo and behold, so I took my -4. It was an alright week. Like 116, obviously it's nothing to be scoffed at, but when the average is 79, you want to be doing a bit better. You want to be in, like, I would say 150 range is a bit more respectable. And I think it was heavily skewed by people who captained the one and only KDB. If you captained him, then you were out ahead. And it was a bit like that double game week with Salah. If you didn't captain him, you might as well just forgot about it, because anybody who captained him was in the top side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, I'll just quickly go through my team. It's probably going to be pretty run of the mill, because I played a bench boost. I had my big hitters were Cancelo, James, Son, and Nketiah. Stupidly captained Salah, who was a bit of a dud. But yeah, those were my big hitters. Ended the game week with 116. Can't scoff at it, but I was hoping for a bit more, to be honest. Oh, and Sessegnon actually surprisingly was also a double figure. But can't scoff at it, but I wanted a bit more.
No, that Sessegnon turned out quite well for you. Okay. Well, I managed 130, but that was with a -8, so actually 120.
A -8? What the name?
Well, what happened was, what did happen? Basically, when I got to this end, when I was getting to this stage of the season, I knew I was going to have to take some hits. I just knew that's how I had to play it, basically. And so the plan was, I had Kane, and I kept him for a while because I thought he was going to explode in the game weeks leading up to game week 36, which of course he didn't do. And because he was so expensive, he kind of limited my options in terms of the rest of the team. So the whole time I had Kane, I had a couple of duds on my bench. I had Gelhardt, he usually came off for a 1-pointer, and I think I had one of those cheapy strikers at Everton who never plays. And then when I got to game week 36, I thought, okay, I'm going to bench boost. But the whole point of having a bench boost is that everybody plays. So I knew I was going to have to get rid of Kane, take some of my Kane cash, and put on some decent players. And it just worked out that over the course of the transfers that I made, I had to make 5 transfers in 2 weeks. I knew I was always going to be taking hits. But I thought, take the -8 for the double game week and bench boost, because it'll be worth it. Because with any luck, you'll get a big, massive score. That was kind of worth it. Like you said, it was only really worth it for people who had KDB. And it never occurred to me for 1 second to get him in. I thought I had Foden, he'll do nicely. And he did all right, but he only really played for 1 game. And fortunately for me, he scored in that game. He played for the whole of the game against Wolves. He hit the post twice, I think, and then he got taken off. And that was absolutely screwing, because I had him as captain. So just imagine, I was actually brave enough not to captain Salah. You said that captaining Salah turned out to be a bit of a dud, but only with the benefit of hindsight. I have to be honest with you, I was bricking it, because I thought, okay, let me captain somebody at Man City, because I knew they were going to go mental. But of course, it didn't quite work out, because KDB was the one who ended up going mental. Sterling obviously did really well as well with his 28 points. But yeah, just to go through my team, the big points came from Cancelo, like everybody else. I had Reece James and Nketiah, obviously. And then I had Mason Mount as well. I don't know why I ever got rid of him for Havertz. He's back in my team now, and he's staying there. And then I also had Ben Foster, who was my cheaper goalkeeper, because my main one was supposed to be Schmeichel. But Foster came in with 14 points. He played 2 blinding games. I really did not see that coming. I thought I'd get some points off him, but the amount of points I got off him, I was very happy about. The only person who didn't get me any points at all was Ramsey, because it turned out he was injured for both of Villa's games. I only found that out after I brought him in. So
that's it. That's what happened. Okay, look, that's what happened. So I prematurely did a swap Erdegaard for what do you call it? What's his name? Eriksen for Erdegaard. And then so I swapped, and then I went onto the team news, because that's the natural order of business.
Yeah.
And then Gerard said he's a serious doubt for this game week, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I know exactly how you mean, because he's great value and he plays all the time. And the thing about Villa, 4 games in 2 weeks, you've got to have some of that. Right now I'm staring at my team. I've got Watkins there. He's flagged. The whole point I brought him in was 4 games over 2 weeks. And now I'm thinking, do I use a transfer? Do I bring in Danny Ings? But we'll get on to that. So
I mean, we might as well. We can move right on to that, I guess.
Okay, yeah, let's move right on to that.
Because that's where I made 1 transfer this week, and that was Watkins out, Richarlison in.
Ooh, okay.
I took it.
You pulled the trigger on Watkins already.
Yeah, I just thought I'm just like at this stage of the season, I can't take chances on him or duds, and I think if I'm hedging my bets on the double game week players a bit, which obviously is stupid, but I'm hedging my bets on the double
No,
game week players a bit here because I'm just
not at
thinking
all.
more chance to do something.
Yeah,
So
this is exactly that. I mean, the only risk you're really taking is that they might not play both games, but
exactly.
there's so
But I
many of them
think
who do.
my thought process, Richarlison needs to play both games because he's the one keeping
Yeah.
Lampard in.
No.
So there's no way he's not
Yeah.
playing.
There's no doubt in my mind that he will play both games, and he's looking at 180 minutes. I mean, basically, when you look at the double game weeks for teams which are sort of mid-table, the squads aren't quite as big. Their main players, they can't really rotate them or rest them, can they? They've got
No,
to play, especially when there's something at stake. So your Evertons, your Aston Villas, your Leicesters, well, not maybe so much with Leicester, but now they're out of Europe. I think we might see a bit more of a settled team there. But yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right.
As-
I think
as-
Everton's are nailed on.
Yeah.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
So, I mean, yeah, generally speaking, next topic obviously is captains for game week 37. Seeing as you brought in Richarlison, is there any chance of you captain?
It's a tough one because you say it most game weeks, especially every double game week, and I'm sure you've been waiting to say it this game week. Don't disregard the single game week players in favour of the double game week players. Single game week players could do just as well. So I'm going to steal the line off of and I'm looking at a combination, a mixture of Son and Salah and obviously Richarlison, but Son and Salah both have quite favourable fixtures, I think. And Son, I saw something get thrown up today. It seems like Burnley is a bit of a favourite game for Son. He's recorded double figure points in the last 2 games against Burnley at home or something. So
Yeah.
that's an interesting one, and for some reason these things always come to fruition as well. It's like Mane has a couple of teams that he always just seems to score against, so maybe this is his team, and Spurs need to win. Spurs need it. They need wins. They need they can't if they lose this game, then that's it. And if they lose this game, obviously an Arsenal win, but the only chance that they have is by winning, and he was on fire midweek. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm probably going to leave it right up until the last minute to pick my captain, but I'll have him sitting on Son for now. But I think I might change it to Richarlison just because the same way Spurs need to win, Everton also need to win, and Richarlison is their scorer. Just the business end.
I mean, I think one thing that says a lot for Son, and Kane could afford him, or you still keep him, is that Burnley have got no central defenders. There's no Ben Mee, James's favourite, and there's no Tarkowski. And so it's not looking good for Burnley. And for that reason alone, I'm very nervous about not having Kane anymore, or indeed not having Son, because I've not had Son for a while. When it came to the choice of Son versus Kane, I as you would say, stupidly went for Kane, and I've been punished ever since. And Son looks very good to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kane is still can go mental. I mean, he's got Burnley, and then the last game of the season he's got Norwich, and he's on penalty, and he's going to play 90 minutes. But Son is a good captain choice, definitely. He's firing. Burnley don't have a defence. As you said before, Son tends to play well against Burnley. Although I do recall a few months ago that Spurs went up to Burnley and Burnley beat them 1-0. So I don't know if there's still a little bit of a soft underbelly to Spurs. But anyway, I'm not going to mess with...
Their form has been higgy over the past few weeks because, I mean, after Arsenal went on their 3-game losing streak, they should have held on to top 4. But they managed to lose 2 games on the bounce, and Arsenal got back into it. It's been a very interesting top 4 race. So yeah, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
You mentioned Salah, the perennial captain. Is there any particular reason apart from the fact he's Salah that you think people would think about him as a captain?
No, literally just it's Salah, and you can never count him out. And he's also a bit of a. He's also in a golden boot race with Son. He's only one goal ahead of Son. If Son scores, Salah needs to score, vice versa. So I know that he's going to want that because he's also vying for a contract, and a golden boot helps win that contract or make it a bit more interesting for himself. So I'm also thinking about things like that. And when Salah wants to score, he'll shoot from anywhere, no problem.
That's
he'll
true.
do what he needs to do to score.
He has been unlucky last couple of years. He still gets the ball. He still shoots plenty. Luis Diaz may have stolen his thunder a little bit, but he's still Salah. Still in FPL, he's still the top player by miles as well. So,
and they're still in a title race, technically. I mean, it doesn't look good, but technically they're still in a title race.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
I've got a word on that. I'm sorry. I don't need to burst the bubble of any Man City fans out there, but I think the title race is still 100% on. And the reason for that is Man City don't have a defence anymore. I mean, seriously, when Fernandinho was playing in defence against Wolves, there were a few hairy moments where Wolves could have gotten back in that game. One or two very hairy moments, And who are they going to be playing at the back from now? It will be Fernandinho and Aki. Now, I'm not saying that Aki is a bad player, but he's not Laporte and he's not Diaz, is he?
But I mean, you say it's still on, but what? I think City are a solid 3 points ahead of Liverpool, right?
They are.
So then that brings goal difference into the question, and
it does.
Liverpool aren't close.
Here's the thing. West Ham is no joke. Yeah,
this is true.
No joke. And David Moyes knows how to mess people's weekends up. Yeah, he already did it to Liverpool this season. All right. And he's gonna see the fact that City don't have a defence. He's gonna be loving it. I mean, seriously, Fernandinho up against Jared Bowen and Antonio. Fernandinho and Antonio, don't make me laugh. Make me laugh, man. The boy's gonna get cooked. Antonio's gonna cook him. I'm telling you.
This is true.
And
this is true.
Wolves, and then Man City also have Aston Villa, and they're no pushovers either. They made life difficult for Liverpool. They really did. And they could have stayed in that game quite easily. Liverpool had to fight for those things. So because of that, I'm not prepared to say it's done and dusted.
Yeah.
Man City can easily draw their next two games. And if Liverpool win their next two games, then they're champions.
This is true.
It's separate.
That is true.
It's Man City's defence just worry me. Yeah, it's all very well playing with the high line and passing it back to Ederson and all the rest of it when you've got Laporte and Diaz back there. But with Fernandinho, his lack of pace and his lack of size and his lack of strength and his lack of everything, and Aki, he's not quite well cast. I can see City conceding goals, and against West Ham, they're conceding, and against Villa, Anyway, I appreciate that Southampton are not necessarily any pushovers, but Southampton's been playing really badly lately. They've been putting up some real stickers lately. And then who's Liverpool's last game against?
Oh, let me check.
Another sort of middling team, innit?
Something like that, yeah. Let's see, Southampton and Wolves. Not so middling.
So again,
so middling.
Wolves were bad against City, although they did have their moments. But generally speaking, Wolves, you know what you're going to get. They don't score a lot and they don't concede a lot as well. So again, if Liverpool are going to win that game, they are going to have to fight. And the thing about Liverpool is that they're stretched a little bit thin at the moment. Yeah. Anything could happen tomorrow in the FA Cup final. It could go to 120 minutes and penalties again. Yeah. And then Klopp's got to start thinking about keeping the momentum going for the Champions League final. Who's he going to drop? Who's he going to play? But one last thing I'd like to say is that life is a bit unfair to that kid Minamino, hasn't it? Yeah. I mean, I think he needs to get his agent on the phone now. That Liverpool dream, it's not so much of a dream there. But anyway,
you're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Who are my captains for Game Week 37? Richarlison, my armbands on him at the moment. Ollie Watkins, I would have said him if it wasn't for his flag. The latest from Gerrard is that he's not training and they're going to see how it looks. To me, that very much sounds like he's not playing the next game, but he might play the second one. So I'm seriously thinking about bringing in Danny Ings for him. Okay, Ings has been playing well recently, and he's on penalties. When he's not on the pitch, Watkins takes them. But Ings is another one I think worth looking at. And the third one, a little bit left field, is Wilfried Zaha. I think people should think about him as a captain choice. Okay, he's got 2 away games, granted, but 2 away games are, he's got Villa is 1, and he could easily get a goal and do something. And sorry, he hasn't got 2 away games. Sorry, he's got Villa. What am I talking about now? Sorry, he's got Villa and Everton. And
Yes.
yeah,
That's right.
so he can get something against Villa and Everton. Plus, he's on penalty, always helpful.
And he's
Plus,
he's had a bit of form.
Yeah, as Derek quite rightly pointed out. Plus, he plays 90 minutes every game. He's going to play. He's going to start. And one more cheeky one, I'm just going to throw in there, just because Vardy.
Yeah,
he's got
I thought about
Watford.
him.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to start because he's one of those old guys who doesn't seem to have that quick turnaround in his legs. Then, but if he comes in against Watford, he might do something. And Chelsea, you never know. They're not as resilient as they were at the beginning of the season.
And if I know Jamie Vardy, he'll love to get on a top 6 side. He'll just love to, just because that's what he does.
True.
He would come on and he would strive to score against an aging Thiago Silva.
That's
Or
right.
something like that. He'll love it.
And then he'll do his little piece of housery goal celebrations.
He's going to do like a lion or something.
Yeah, he'll pretend to be a moose when he scores against Watford or something. Or anyway.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
All right then, football. What's on your mind? Tell me. Talk to me. Talk to me.
You've just asked an Arsenal fan what's on his mind after losing the North London derby.
What can I say?
I mean, what's on my mind? To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I'm upset about the final. I mean, not the final, the North London derby. It was a final basically. But what annoys me the most is this narrative. I feel like the media have got this. I mean, stop me, and you'll have time to rebuttal. But I think the media just have it in for Arsenal. Like, they hate us. It's so annoying. Like, it is unbelievable. Like, the commentary the other day, it was as if it was England versus Russia. Like, the way they were going on, every time Tottenham did something, it was like fantastic play from Tottenham. Every time Arsenal did something, like, oh, they got lucky there. Do you know what? Like, it was insane. And the minute the game ended, like, it was like Arsenal, Tottenham head and shoulders. Tottenham deserve this top 4. Tottenham this, Tottenham that. All of this nonsense. They were saying that this is the worst top 4 race because Arsenal are the ones in it, and all of this stuff. It's like, yo, did you just forget that we beat Man United? We beat Chelsea. We pushed Liverpool. We pushed City. Both managers at the end of the game were like, that was probably one of the toughest games we played so far this season. And then the minute Tottenham bend over, everyone's like, oh, Tottenham this, Tottenham that. It's unbelievable. It is like they don't want us to win this. They don't want us to get this Champions League. I'm telling you, they really don't. And I just don't understand it. But it's been that way since the beginning. It's been that way since the beginning. The first 3 games, like when it was Brentford game, everyone loved it when Arsenal lost. And then Arsenal went on the bounce for the 3. Oh, sorry, you want to speak? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, short memories. That is probably the worst and the best thing about people. Sometimes it's good that people forget things, but also it's bad that they forget things. But go on.
But man, and then what upsets me most is that, like, Tottenham deserved this because Arsenal had a game called off because of COVID and this and that. It's like, look, can't pick a team in the league this season that didn't have a game called off. And bear in mind, Arsenal only had 1 game called off because of COVID. Some teams called off 4, some teams called off like 6. Like some teams they didn't play for 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we called off 1 game. And that's it. We deserve all the bad things. We deserve to be relegated. In fact, just shoot Mikel Arteta. Don't let him be a man anymore. Just shoot him. Shoot him in the head. Be done with it.
It's funny.
Disgusting.
I do want to rewind to the beginning of the season just a little bit because
sure.
First of all, I think you've got a point. It's true. I don't know. I think maybe it's the Harry Kane influence. That Harry Kane, people like the idea of Harry Kane doing well and doing what they want him to do. So I think that feeds. I think that feeds into the NLD a little bit.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
But what annoys me about the beginning of the season is I think I think people are being a bit harsh about the beginning of the season because people forget out of your first 3 games, one was against the champion and another was against the champions of Europe. And the Brentford result was just a freak result. And of course, Brentford surprised plenty of teams this season. It wasn't just Arsenal. So even though they probably would have expected 3 points out of the first 3 games, they ended up with 0 points because of one freakish result. And so things were made to look a lot worse than they actually were, in my opinion. So again, it's very, very frustrating that people forget that.
But I wanna just remind people something because I don't think anyone remembers. Okay, but just bear in mind, Arsenal had no recognised starting front 3. Do you know how many players we had out with COVID for that Brentford game? But no one. But the reason why it was
You're right. I completely forgot about that.
we played flipping following Balogun, an academy graduate who had never played in the Premier League before. Callum Chambers was in the back. So was Ben White. So was flipping Pablo Mari. Do you know what I mean? We had Sambi Lokonga and Xhaka starting in the midfield. We really were on the ropes. No Saka. Saka came on later on in the game because he was carrying a knock. But do you know what? And it's come out since Arteta said, "Hey, look, we're not sure about this because we've got a lot of cases of COVID." And they said, "But it's the first game of the season, so crack on."
Oh, I remember that as well.
And that was
anyway, I want to the NLD itself. Were you? What do you think? Was it still a game until what's his face got sent off?
Yeah, I think the thing, bear in mind, Harry Kane's goal, the penalty kick goal, was his second touch of the game at that time. So you can get an idea what was going on. The game was going both ways. I think Arsenal were a bit how would I describe it? The occasion definitely got to a few Arsenal players. I think we could have grown into the game, but the game was definitely done and dusted before we had a chance to grow into it. So I think the sending off kind of just more, it was the penalty and then it was the sending off, right? But
see, this is the thing. I'm just going to end like this. People want to have their cake, eat it, don't they? They do with Spurs. On the one hand, they like to say, "Oh, Spurs, they're going to mess it up. It'll be typical Spurs, so Spursy." If they were to lose in the second half. But on the other hand, it's well done, Spurs. It's everything they deserve. So it's which Spurs do you want then?
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
And just one last thing. We need to get it out of our heads that this flipping Heung Min son is flipping prefect Asian boy who doesn't do anything wrong, sweet and cries and stuff. No. He's a nasty piece of work. He's a nasty piece of work.
You're killing me, man.
Right,
I'm dying over here.
Look, he's the Korean Joey Barton. And
I'm dying. Look, he flew all the way back to South Korea to serve in their army. Yeah, they're bordering on crazy pariah nation that's building nuclear weapons and can't wait to wipe North Korea can't wait to wipe South Korea off the face of this map. He went there, back there to defend his borders. Of course, he's
having it. I having it because look, yeah, there was a part, yeah, in the game where it was the first tussle between Holding and Son, and they kind of fell to the ground and they were all a bit on top of each other. And then Son looks at Holding and elbows him in the head. It's not like he's moving or something. He just sits up, elbows him in the head, and then gets off of him. Yeah. And I'm like, and then it was only later on today that like I realized, like I saw it and I thought, oh, that's a bit dope. But then later on today, one of the people I listened to on podcast, they said like if the roles reverse, Son would be rolling around crying. VAR would have looked at it and it probably would have ended up in either a red card or a yellow card minimum. And I was like, you know what, it's right, you know, like honestly, like I hate him so much. And do you remember when he cracked that guy's leg? And he was crying.
I knew he was going to cover.
Waterworks. You remember when you were in school? Remember when you were in school? You used to get a rough and tumble with your mates, and there was always that one guy who just start crying. It was like, man, but you were just pinching. Like, why are you crying now? Like, come on. and then you get in trouble. He's that guy. He's that guy.
I'm not even going to go there. Okay. All right. Right. Well.
All right. I'm done. My rant is over.
All right then. So,
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Again, I think we've come to the end of the episode now.
Mm-hmm.
Good one. I hope it was cathartic for you.
It was a bit. Thank you.
There. Sometimes I think it's important to get them out there. If you're listening to us on YouTube, don't forget that the index is in the description below, so you can click to any part of the pod you want to listen to. Also, don't forget to check us out on Twitter at FPL_bros. No, and at FPL_bros. That's it. All right. Was there anything else?
No, that's it. Good luck, everybody, and I hope to beat you this season, Kojo.
Oh, bring it! I like this. I'm loving this. Absolutely, bring it on.
Mate, I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. All right then. Thanks a lot for doing the pod tonight, Jamie. Appreciate it. And see you hopefully for the next one.
See you for the next one.
Bye bye then.